recovery from a nasty bump on the head. However, we will have to watch her closely. She's at high risk for miscarriage, being that this is her first trimester.
So there could be a problem with the baby?
No, I don't think so, but we really won't know anymore until we can do tests, and we can't do that until Vicky regains consciousness.
And when will that be, do you think?
It's just very hard to tell. You should know that I've got the chief of obstetrics going over Vicky's file. There seem to be some discrepancies that, frankly...
Listen, excuse me, I'm sorry, John. Donna's been asking to see Vicky. Is it okay?
Oh, certainly, yeah. Would you like to go in?
Yes, yes, thank you.
What kind of discrepancies are you talking about?
Well, Vicky had a sonogram in her file that Dr. Ziff had ordered. The written report differed greatly.
John, you should ignore that written report. It's wrong.
Well, what do you mean it's wrong?
Vicky had it changed.
She what?
Yeah, she didn't want Grant to know that he was the father.
She altered her own medical record? Didn't she understand how dangerous that was?
John, she was desperate, okay? The divorce isn't final, and she was worried what Grant would do if he found out that he was the father.
Darling, I know this all seems very complicated right now, but we can work it out. We've been through much worse. Please wake up.
Just tell Dr. Hudson that I called, okay? Thank you. Vicky hasn't regained consciousness yet. I didn't ask about the baby. I'm not sure Ryan would want me to.
No, it's better if you don't.
This is some mess.
No, it gets worse. She doesn't know she wants to keep the baby. And meanwhile, Grant has gotten an injunction to stop her from having an abortion.
Oh. And now this. Have you seen Felicia today?
No, I'm trying to write her a note, but I can't figure out what to say. Oh, man. Let's just go back home and crawl under the covers, Frankie. This day, Morgan missing. Vicky in the hospital. Felicia. Maybe I should look at the bright side. If Morgan doesn't show up, at least I won't have to cross-examine my best friend.
There's no word from Grimaldi.
He's got his whole crew out scouring the city. You know, the airport, bus depot, train station, car rentals. There's no word on Morgan.
And there is no way we can get a continuance. Look, we haven't been able to
I ran
locate
it past
Kyle.
the judge this morning. No go.
What are we going to do if Morgan doesn't show up?
I don't have a clue. The judge will revoke the bail and issue a bench warrant.
Is there any way that you can at least keep the jury from finding out he's missing?
No. Not if Dana has anything to say about it. We already know this judge is absolutely disinclined to favor alleged rapists.
Oh, Morgan, wherever you are, please, come back.
Frankie, I pushed him too hard last night when I was prepping him for the trial.
I don't think this has anything to do with you. I think he's upset with me.
You? You're his staunchest ally.
Which is precisely why he was so upset when I criticized him for doubting Felicia's motives.
He was upset all day, honey. Anything could have set him off.
Well, do you blame him? Terrifying being up on charges. You know, having everybody, the press, everybody convinced that you're guilty. I remember when I was charged with Douglas's murder, I would wake up every morning at 4 with my heart pounding. I was shaking with fear. It didn't matter that I was innocent, that you were defending me. This legal system, it looms over you, and you feel like there's no escape.
So he's doing escaping.
He's running, whether or not he's escaping. I keep thinking about that Vietnam War protester who turned herself in recently.
Yeah.
No one would ever have found her, but she couldn't live with herself.
Yeah, but she was guilty.
Cass, what if I'm wrong?
What do you mean?
What if he isn't just scared? What if he's guilty?
This from you?
Yeah, I know, but what if I was wrong? What if I missed something? What if I was blinded by the fact that he's your brother? What if my need to pull your family together, our family, our baby's family, what if that kept me from seeing the truth about him? What if I pushed you into this and now
I am not representing Morgan because of you. I'm representing Morgan because he's my brother. Guilty, not guilty. He's my brother.
Where are you going? I mean, okay, it's not my business, but why aren't you at the court?
You're right, it's not your business. I'm sorry. I'm not used to having half the world know my agenda, you know?
So shoot me. I mean, it's on the front page. I would assume that you would be having a power breakfast with your attorney, but if you want to watch the sun come up, that's your call.
My call? I kind of forgot what that's like. Here, let me. Well, go ahead. Run. Scream. Will that make you feel any better? After all, you are out here all alone on the docks with a mad rapist and he just touched your hand. Now, maybe he wants more. Maybe he smells your fear and it's making him a little crazy, you know? Crazy enough to make him take what he wants.
That's why I think you should stay home until it's time for you to testify. Dana says they have no case. So what they're going to do is go after your character.
They can't do that.
Yes, Lorna, they can try. Fine. Let them. I'm going to court. Victor, please, would you talk to her?
Lorna, could you give us a moment, please?
Fine, I'm getting a snack. You know that the gag rule is in effect in any rape trial, but what is that to say about some reporter from one of those tabloids smearing her picture all over the front of one of his papers?
Well, then the paper will be found in contempt of court.
What does that mean? It means they pay a fine. Is that going to undo any of the
Look,
damage?
Felicia, I know you want to protect Lorna, but she's got to have to face them sooner or later.
I want it to be later.
Oh, and she says no? I mean, it's her decision, Felicia.
Don't you understand that she's not strong enough right now?
I told her last night that however she wanted to play this, I would be there. And I will.
Mother, don't you understand? I cannot sit in my house and hide. That would mean that he won. I'm not going to let him win.
He's already lost.
I'll protect you, Mother.
Believe me, I'm going to need it.
Why don't you go ahead and scream, Brett, while you still have the chance? Scream. Before I drag you into that alley and rape you.
Let go of me.
Disappointed?
What's wrong with you?
You've read the papers. I'm a half-crazed felon out to ravish and destroy every woman I come across. You know, that is a hard thing to live up to. Especially these days when every woman I come across has such high expectations.
I don't like this game.
No? And you started it.
When you touched my hand, you startled me.
Don't lie to me. I saw you and you looked at my face. And then when I touched you, you shrank back like I was some kind of leper.
Okay, fine. You make me nervous. Is that what you want to hear?
I make every woman in Bay City nervous. Make every woman in Bay City nervous. There's not a woman, a Bay City general, who will ride in the elevator with me. You've all made up your minds. Lorna Devon is a saint, you know? Which, believe me, she must pay her friends is all I can figure because she is as cold and abusive.
You don't know her.
That's right. I don't. And you don't know me, and that gives you no right to make up your mind, does it?
You still haven't told me. Why aren't you at the courthouse?
Why go through the bother and expense of a trial when the verdict's already in? It's over. Except for the hanging, of course, which I'm not going to stick around for. Call it stubborn, call it self-preservation. I'm out of here, Brett.
I don't know that he jumped bail. He could have spent the night at the hospital. He could be hard at work in the lab. I'm going to call theirs, man.
Why don't you try on the landing? I think the reception is better out there.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
And see if you can find anything out about Vicky.
You do know that Morgan is going to do whatever he's going to do.
He's going to get himself thrown in jail is what he's going to do.
He knows the consequences. And in the meantime, you have to make an opening statement.
You're right. You go call and I'll do some deep breathing exercises or
Okay,
something.
take care.
Excuse me, Counselor. Good morning. I'm looking for Lorna Devon. I don't know where she is. I haven't seen her.
I'm aware of her involvement in this morning's proceedings. She's my press relations director.
I see. Well, I'm not sure if she's going to be here or not. Her presence isn't required, and since I'm the opposition, they don't have to notify me.
Of course, forgive me, I'm sorry.
No problem. Check the courtroom. Maybe they're here already.
Thank you.
Morgan's not there, and Vicky is still unconscious.
Dr. John?
No, one of the nurses. She's stable, but they don't know anything yet about the baby. That must have been some accident.
Over there. What are you working on, Brett?
Oh, you mean there's somebody in this world besides you?
You're not on trial for rape.
No, I'm not. And I'm also not lurking around the dock scaring people half to death.
I'm not scaring you. You're scaring yourself.
Oh, yeah. You're acting like your normal Joe, grabbing you like that. Look, I'm out here alone, and I will be careful if it offends you or not.
And you wonder why I'm running?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I would have thought a doctor, someone who's made it through med school, gone through life and death situations, I would have thought that you would have been a little cooler under fire.
You sound like my brother, you know? I have no case. My only witness has skipped town. My lawyer can't allude to the history of her behavior.
Oh, come on. The miniskirt defense, she was asking for it?
Come on, you said it yourself, Brett. You're out here all alone, so you're going to be careful. Well, I don't park in deserted streets, and I don't carry my wallet in my back pocket in the crowd. And she shouldn't have gotten drunk and tried to pick up half the men in the bar.
It doesn't matter how much she had to drink, or what she wore, or if she flirted with you. She said no.
You see, I don't know what she said. I wasn't there.
Look, I don't want to fight with you. I liked you when we first met.
And I liked you, too. We had a great conversation, and I was looking forward to getting to know you. I had women friends. Brett, I had women roommates in med school, women colleagues, and every one of them will tell you, every one of them, I do not get violent with women. Angry sometimes, but never physically violent.
Okay, you say that no one will give you a break, that everyone has already made up their minds. You have no choice. You have to run.
Correct.
Well, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Did you do it?
No. Did I want to make love to her? Yes. But she was drunk and frankly not interested, so I put her on the couch and I went home.
Okay.
You believe me?
Yes, I do. And if you tell the jury the truth, they will believe you too.
Go home.
Is this the chance to see my husband in action? Watch him pause for dramatic effect, take that slow stroll over to the jury box, his eyes fastening on each juror, one by one, one by one.
I don't do that.
Yes, you do. You scare the life out of them. It's wonderful, you know. No one would ever dare find your client
It's
guilty.
going to take a hell of a lot more than heavy-duty eye contact.
If Morgan shows up, you will win. It'll be okay.
Now listen, the press is going to hound you, all of you.
What about the gag order?
Well, that requires that they keep Lorna's identity a secret, but unfortunately it won't stop them from writing about her mother or her boyfriend. So it's really important, no matter how angry you get, keep a lid on it, okay?
Is Jenna coming?
No, Lorna told her not to. She said that she only had two hands, and I'd be holding one and you'd be holding the other.
Is she okay with that?
Yeah, I think so. She wanted to go over to KBAY, see how they were doing with the trial coverage.
Well, speaking of KBAY.
Where's your client, counselor?
We're keeping the press away from him.
Well, just as long as he's here.
Oh, I just remembered something.
What? About your brother?
No, about Felicia. Tonight's the night that her episode of Perry Mason is airing.
Somebody at the network has a great sense of timing.
I was going to throw her a party. Why the hell did I become a lawyer?
Morgan's going to show up. It'll be okay.
All right.
You better hurry.
Honorable Judge Francine Scott Cohen presiding. First case on the docket, the state versus Morgan Winthrop.
Are we ready?
The state is ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Mr. Winthrop? Darling, please wake up. Please.
Frank, get the hell out of here. Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you, Ryan? I'm not going anywhere. Victoria!
Look, she can't hear you. She's unconscious.
This won't wash, Ryan. I know what you're doing here, you and John Hudson.
What the hell are you talking about?
You think you can circumvent a court order? Pretend like it was an accident? You think you and John can dummy up an abortion, make it look like a miscarriage?
Whoa! You actually think she's having an abortion?
That woman would do anything to get back at me! You stupid son! You silly, huh?
It's not indigestion. It's gas.
This isn't a you.
That's enough. I'll have your license, doctor. I'll have you up on felony charges so fast it'll make your head...
Back off!
What's going on?
Where is she? Where's Victoria?
Just calm down.
If you've harmed a hair on that child's head...
Grant thinks that we faked an accident so that John here could perform an abortion and disguise it as a miscarriage.
Abortion?
He thinks that we're trying to circumvent a court order.
That woman would do anything to defy me.
Oh, Grant, that's such a...
My daughter is in there lying unconscious. God knows when she's going to wake up. And you're concerned about whether they are obeying your orders?
If you want to, you can speak to the police. They were on the scene.
Faking an accident, that's the kind of stunt that you would pull, not Victoria.
Our hospital staff, of course, is at your disposal should you have any medical questions, Grant.
You are the most selfish, stupid, manipulative man I've ever met.
Look, I understand that you have an interest here, but it is not...
This is a Newswatch 10 special report.
Good afternoon. I'm Diana Kelch at Providence District Court, where former Chief...
My client has fulfilled his obligation.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I got stuck in traffic.
One more minute, and I would have revoked bail, young man. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, ma'am. It won't happen again.
Now, before we proceed, I would like to caution the press and any spectators. I believe in an open courtroom. However, given the provisions protecting rape victims, I will clear this court if there are any outbursts. And I will not hesitate to invoke the full measure of the law should anyone violate the privacy of the plaintiff by disclosing any facts that might suggest her identity. Now, Miss Kramer, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Rape. What does that mean, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? In this age of X-rated movies and promiscuity, recreational sets and one-night stands. It means what it has always meant. Rape means that sexual intercourse has taken place without the consent of the victim. Without her consent. Which means she said no. Now, according to the law, it doesn't matter if she knew him, if she flirted with him, if she kissed him, or even if she invited him home with her. What matters is that when the defendant wanted to have sexual intercourse, the plaintiff said no. She said no. Now, we will prove that the defendant, Morgan Winthrop, didn't take no for an answer. That he ignored her pleas. That he forcibly pinned her down to the couch, bruising both of her arms. That he pulled up her skirt, ripped off her stockings and her underwear, forced her legs apart, and raped her. Now, how do we know that? Well, the victim will name the defendant. This man, Morgan Winthrop, as her attacker. Now, in addition, we will submit medical evidence that show the extent of the victim's injuries and forensic evidence that places Morgan Winthrop at the scene of the crime. Now, what is your job, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? It's to hold on you with excuses. Well, there really isn't any excuse for rape. It's a crime. And when you hear the facts, you will find Morgan Winthrop guilty.
Mr. Winthrop?
I don't have to prove a thing. My client, Morgan Winthrop, is innocent. Until you say he's guilty. And to do that, to find Morgan guilty, you have to be convinced beyond the famous shadow of a doubt that the evidence adds up. The prosecution promises you facts. Facts? We don't even know if Lorna Devon was actually raped.
Order. I will have order.
Okay.
How is she?
Was it the baby? She's still unconscious. The baby? I told you we won't know anything about the baby until she does regain consciousness. We can do some necessary tests.
But she's not in pain.
No physical pain, no.
But she looks so uncomfortable. Could she be dreaming?
It's possible.
Step right up, win the little lady, you cute me now. Step right up. Hey there, Goldilocks. What do you say? Try your luck. What do you say?
Thanks, I have everything I need.
Oh, what do you have to lose? Don't walk away from your last chance. Shoot me. Come on. You know you want to shoot me.
No, I can't.
You want me to shoot him? Oh, you'll get your chance, little brother. Right now, it's up to the little lady.
I can't.
Sure you can. Just do it. Let's hear it for the little lady. A perfect miss.
I don't want it.
Oh, but it's yours.
It's not so bad.
He's beautiful. What do you think we should name him? Ryan? Ryan? Oh, where's the baby? Where's the baby?
Dana.
Order! I have order here.
No, you go if you want. I'm staying.
As the defense has seen fit to reveal the victim's identity, I will renew my warning. Should the victim's privacy be compromised, I will not hesitate to exercise all powers allowed under the law. Proceed, Counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Was Lorna Devon raped? That's the first question. Before we can assign blame, we have to make sure that a crime has been committed. How do we do that? When the prosecution presents her medical evidence, I want you to ask yourselves one thing. Does it add up? That's all. Does it add up? Lorna Devon will admit she had sex earlier in the day with a man other than the defendant. The medical examiner will tell you that they found that man's semen, but not a trace of any semen from the man she claims raped her.
Your Honor.
David for the summation, Counselor.
Does it add up? There are no witnesses. I wish there were. Instead, the prosecution promises you Lorna Devon's story. Well, I promise you Morgan Winthrop's story. He will tell you how he met a pretty woman at a bar, how they had several drinks together, how they laughed and joked, how she invited him back to her apartment with his friend. They ate pizza, they danced, and then Morgan went home. He went home. Does it add up? The prosecutor was absolutely right. Rape has nothing to do with lust or seduction. It's an act of rage, a violent, violent act. One person brutally overpowering another. Morgan Winthrop is a doctor. He's an intern at Bay City General. You will hear from his colleagues and his patients about how gentle he is, about how he saves lives. Does it add up? You will undoubtedly feel, as I feel, that something happened to Lorna Devon. And what it was still isn't clear. It may never be clear. You will hear how she drank to the point of intoxication, how she passed out. What you must ask yourselves is this. Is Lorna Devon a reliable witness? If indeed someone overpowered her, raped her, was she sober enough to identify her assailant, or is she just guessing? Is it possible, just possible, that she's mistaken? The law says that if you have a reasonable doubt, you must find Morgan Winthrop innocent.
Miss Kramer, you may call your first witness.
The state calls Felicia Gallant.
That's your cue.
Okay, you sure you want to do this?
Positive.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Yes, it is.
Miss Gallant, are you a member of this community?
Yes, I am. I own a restaurant here in Bay City. I have done some work for a local television station, and I have written several books.
What is your relationship to Lorna Devon?
I'm her mother.
Miss Gallant, where were you on the evening of October 22nd?
I went out with a friend, and later we came back to my apartment.
Did you see your daughter Lorna that evening?
Yes, I did. She came to the apartment as well.
What time was that?
Sometime after 11.
Miss Gallant, can you describe your daughter's demeanor and appearance on that night?
She was pale and very shaky. She wasn't anything like herself. I even thought she might be ill or...
Objection. Miss Gallant is not a doctor.
I'm not asking Miss Gallant for a diagnosis, simply for an observation.
I'll allow it. Continue, Miss Gallant.
Thank you. As I was saying, she was shaky. I had to help her to sit down. I went into the kitchen to get her something to drink, and when I came back, she was curled up on the couch. She was trembling.
Now, Miss Gallant, I realize that you are not a doctor, but as a parent, can you tell us if you suspected that your daughter had been drinking?
Yes. I knew that she had gone out with friends earlier. They were partying. But that wasn't the problem.
Again, Your Honor, the witness is drawing conclusions she's unqualified to make.
I think we understand the parameters of Miss Gallant's testimony, Mr. Winthrop. You may continue, Miss Gallant.
Thank you. She wasn't anything like herself. My daughter is a very verbal person. She's articulate. She's funny. She stood there that night. She stood there and stared. She didn't say a word. She just was trembling.
And Miss Gallant, you've mentioned that she needed your assistance to walk.
Yes.
That you observed her curled up on the couch. Now, is that normal behavior for your daughter?
No. No, of course not. My daughter has great physical presence. She's tall and athletic and graceful. She moves like a dancer. She has great confidence and poise and...
And on the evening of October 22nd?
She winced every time she moved. She wouldn't look at me. She hid her face, and she's never hidden from anyone, ever.
Miss Gallant, can you describe the condition of your daughter's clothing that night?
Objection, irrelevant.
It goes to state of mind, Your Honor.
Overruled?
You may answer the question, Miss Gallant.
She has great fashion presence. She's always dressed beautifully, well-groomed. Immaculate. That night she was disheveled. Her hair was uncombed. Later, I saw all the bruises on both her arms.
Miss Gallant, you are her mother. How did you feel observing all these changes in your daughter?
I was frightened, horrified. I had no idea what I should do.
What did you do?
I asked her what had happened to her. And that's when she told me she'd been raped.
Objection, hearsay.
And later we found out that that man, that rapist, was Morgan Winthrop.
Objection, Your Honor!
Order! I will have order in this court! Order!
Parents always think their kids are the best.
Thank you. Now, you have an objection, Mr. Winthrop?
Yes, Your Honor. Witness' answer was hearsay and highly non-responsive.
Miss Gallant's testimony reflects the statement she gave to the police.
Nevertheless, Mr. Winthrop is correct and his objection is sustained. The jury will disregard Miss Gallant's reference to what her daughter said. Her daughter and the officers at the scene will have an opportunity to testify at a later time.
Miss Gallant, has your daughter ever lied to you?
Objection, irrelevant.
Miss Gallant is here as a character witness for the plaintiff.
I'll allow it.
Has your daughter ever lied to you?
No, never. She's a completely truthful person, sometimes too truthful.
Has she ever engaged in flights of fancy or fantasized and made up stories?
Objection, calling for conclusions.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
No. I find her to be a completely grounded person.
Thank you, Miss Gallant. Your witness, counsel.
She's done a lot of damage. I'm gonna have to go after her. I don't want you or the baby here for this.
Cass.
Please, Frankie.
I understand. Good luck.
Is there a problem?
No problem, Your Honor.
Ryan, would you like to go in?
I'd like to see her. She's still my wife.
Grant, under the circumstances, I think that you would do her more harm than good if you wanted to see her.
I would never knowingly jeopardize Victoria's welfare. You understand?
Hey, Vic. It's me again. Come on, Vic, wake up. Come on, can you try and wake up for me? Come on. That's it, come on. Come on. Let me see those beautiful blue eyes of yours. Come on, give me a smile. Hey. Hi.
How?
It's okay. You're in the hospital. You had an accident. It's all right. It's all right. You're gonna be all right.
The baby.
They don't know. They don't know, honey. They have some tests to do.
I don't want to lose the baby. It's my baby. I want the baby.